American plc is a multinational mining company based in Johannesburg, South Africa and London, United Kingdom. It is the world's largest producer of platinum, with around 40% of world output, as well as being a major producer of diamonds, copper, nickel, iron ore and metallurgical and thermal coal. The company has operations in Africa, Asia, Australasia, Europe, North America and South America. Anglo American has a primary listing on the London Stock Exchange and is a constituent of the FTSE 100 index. It had a market capitalisation of approximately £31.2 billion as of December 23, 2011, the 15th largest company of any with a primary listing on the London Stock Exchange. The company has a secondary listing on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. In December 2015, the company announced that after a $3 billion loss in the first half of 2015, it would be undergoing a restructure, including the loss of 85,000 jobs out of 135,000. History 1917 to 1990. Sir Ernest Oppenheimer, along with the American bank J.P. Morgan & Co., founded the Anglo American Corporation, a gold mining company, in 1917 with £1 million, raised from UK and US sources, and ultimately derived the name of the company. The AAC became the majority stakeholder in the De Beers Company in 1926, a company formerly controlled by Alfred Bate, a fellow Jewish German immigrant of the Oppenheimers. 2 years following, the AAC began mining in the Zambian copper belt. During 1945, the AAC moved into the coal industry by acquiring coal estates. 12 years later, Sir Ernest passed away in Johannesburg and the company was succeeded by his son, Harry Oppenheimer, who also became chairman of De Beers. In the late 1940s and 1950s, the AAC focused on the development of the Free State goldfields, 7 major mines simultaneously, in the Valreefs mine. The success of the mines enabled the company to become the world's largest gold mining group. In 1961, the AAC expanded outside of Southern Africa for the first time and became a major investor in the Hudson Bay Mining and Smelting Company in Canada. In 1967, the company moved into the steel industry by acquiring SCA Metals. From 1967 to 1975, it continued to grow and established a number of ventures, including the Mundy Group, timber, pulp and paper, and gold, later Anglo Gold Ashanti, and then Coal, through the consolidation of several of its mining operations in South Africa and later known as Anglo Coal, and in 2010 changed to Anglo Thermal. In 1982, Harry Oppenheimer retired as chairman of the AAC and was succeeded by Gavin Relly. 2 years later, Oppenheimer retired from De Beers and passed the chairmanship to Julian Ogilvie Thompson, who in 1990 also became chairman and chief executive of the AAC. 1990 to 2010, Anglo American Corporation merged with Minorco on May 24, 1999 to form Anglo American plc with its primary listing on the London Stock Exchange and a secondary listing on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Its gold mining operations were spun off into the separate Anglo Gold Corporation, which in 2004 merged with the Ashanti Goldfields Corporation to form Anglo Gold Ashanti. Anglo American reduced its stake in Anglo Gold Ashanti to 16.6% in 2008 and exited the company completely in 2009. In 2000, Julian Ogilvy Thompson retired as chief executive of Anglo American and was succeeded by Tony Traore. Ogilvy Thompson also retired as chairman in 2002 and was replaced by Sir Mark Moody Stewart. In the same year, Anglo American acquired Tarmac, a supplier of building materials, and Shell Petroleum Company's Australian coal assets in 2001. De Beers was privatized after being a listed company for more than 70 years. In 2002, South Africa's mining charter was approved and Anglo American and other mining companies with operations in the country were mandated to transfer a percentage of their South African production to historically disadvantaged South Africans. From 2002 to July 2008, Anglo American carried out Black community economic empowerment transactions across all businesses with operations in South Africa, totaling R26 billion. Also, in 2002, Anglo Base Metals acquired the disputed copper operations in Chile from ExxonMobil Corporation and opened a representative office in Beijing, China. In 2003, Anglo American acquired a major stake in iron ore producer Kumba Resources. In 2007, Cynthia Carroll succeeded Tony Traore, becoming the first non-South African and first female chief executive of Anglo American. The Mundi Group, a paper and packaging business, was also spun out in 2007. During the next 2 years, Anglo American opened a representative office in New Delhi, India, acquired control of the Michiquil copper project in northern Peru and the MMX Minas Rio and Amapá iron ore projects in Brazil, and later acquired stakes in the Pebble copper project in Alaska and Foxhill coal mine in Australia. Anglo American was also accused in 2007 of damaging environmental practices. In order to complete its planned Alaskan Pebble mine in collaboration with Northern Dynasty Minerals, the global mining giant may build a massive dam at the headwaters of the world's largest sockeye salmon fishery, which it would risk obliterating. Opponents are also pointing to the use of cyanide, heavy metals, and acid mine drainage, which can all have potentially devastating effects on the pristine environment of the Bristol Bay Area. Opponents of the Pebble mine created ballot measure 4 to impose additional water quality standards on new large-scale mines in the state. However, in August 2007, Alaskans voted against the initiative. The Pebble Limited Partnership has not yet put forward a project proposal and is working to prepare a pre-feasibility study for the project in the second half of 2009. The mine proposal must still undergo environmental studies and the permitting process, including being subject to state and federal water protections. In December 2013, Anglo American withdrew from the Pebble Limited Partnership. 2010 to present, Anglo American entered into talks in early November 2011, concluding on the 4th. The Oppenheimer family divested the remaining shares of De Beers, whereby Anglo American acquired an additional 40% stake for $5.1 billion. Which increased Anglo American's stake to 85%. This came at a time of increased labor strikes and international attention to Oppenheimer's involvement in blood and conflict diamonds. The Oppenheimer family remains the largest shareholder of Anglo American, however, they have divested their interests in De Beers. Anglo American plc sold a 24.5% share in its Chilean copper unit for $5.39 billion to Japan's Mitsubishi Corporation, paid with a promissory note which is due on November 10, 2011. With this deal, the Anglo American Sur complex was valued at $22 billion. In November 2012, Anglo completed the sale of steelmaker SCA South Africa Limited Unit and its connected companies for a total of 3.4 billion rand in cash. In July 2014, Anglo American said it was disposing of its 50% shareholding in Lafarge Tarmac, a building materials joint venture, to cement maker Lafarge for a value of not less than £885 million, $1.5 billion. The sale of Anglo American's 50% stake in Lafarge was subsequently completed in July 2015 for $1.6 billion. In October 2014, Anglo American's Minas Rio iron ore project in Brazil began operating and shipping ore. In July 2015, the company announced they would cut 53,000 jobs, 35% of their employees, and that in the first half of 2015 they had a financial loss of $3 billion. In early December 2015, Anglo announced that, as part of a company restructure, they would be cutting 85,000 mining jobs worldwide, nearly two-thirds of its current workforce of 135,000. 3 businesses will be created by the merger of 6 divisions. The company has its Dawson, Vauxhall and Collide coal mines in central Queensland for sale. Dartbrook coal mine in the Hunter Valley in New South Wales is also for sale. Investor stock dividends were suspended. Anglo shares then dropped to a record low on the London Stock Exchange after falling more than 12%. Operations: the company focuses on natural resources with 6 core businesses: Kumba Iron Ore Brazil, coal, thermal and metallurgical, base metals, copper, nickel, niobium, phosphates, platinum, diamonds, through De Beers, in which it owns an 85% share. The paper and packaging business Mundi Group was spun out in 2007. Anglo American entered into talks in November 2011 with the Oppenheimer family to divest the remaining Oppenheimer share of De Beers, an additional 40% stake for $5.1 billion, which would increase Anglo American's stake to 85%. This came at a time of increased labor strikes and international attention to Oppenheimer's involvement in blood and conflict diamonds. In 2008, the company had 105,000 permanent employees and 39,000 contract employees in its managed operations located in 45 countries. Anglo American's biggest project, in recent times, was the Minas Rio iron ore project in Brazil. It faced delays and high costs, but in December 2010 Anglo American gained a key license from the government that would allow work to start. Production is initially expected to be 26.5 megatons/y. Iron ore would be sent through a 525 km slurry pipeline to the port of Açu as of October 2014. Minas Rio was operational and shipping ore. In 2008, Anglo American, excluding De Beers, spent $212 million on exploring 21 countries for resources including copper, nickel, niobium phosphates and zinc. The 2 main types of exploration for the company are greenfield and brownfield, with nearly 70% devoted to greenfield projects. Anglo American, along with De Beers, backed the manufacturing of a superconducting quantum interference device, SQUID, to help improve the sensitivity of exploration surveys. Anglo American established Boart Products South Africa Limited in 1936, later named Boart International, to turn the company's stockpile of Boart, or low-grade natural diamonds, into drilling products. This initiative resulted in the development of the first mechanically set diamond drill bit and later led to additional research into cutting and abrasive tools. With a significant number of operations and employees in South Africa, Anglo American faces the HIV/AIDS challenge on a large scale. In response, it runs a workplace program for HIV/AIDS testing and counseling. In 2002, it started to provide antiretroviral drugs for employees with AIDS.